So yeah, I was going to say we'll do a bit of a free flow on Bitcoin versus gold, because that seems to be one of the hot type
hot
of
topics.
hot topic that people love to big up gold, Bitcoin, and bash gold, innit?
Yeah.
Because they feel if they bash gold, that Bitcoin's gonna get better.
Yeah.
So like gold is like a certain trillion asset or whatever, and Bitcoin's there, and they want to, obviously, the Bitcoiners, if you know what I'm saying, want to be able to take that market share.
Yeah.
And to be able to take that market share, they feel that they have to bash that asset to be able to convince everyone else, don't buy gold and buy Bitcoin. And see, the thing is, I think most people are not going to buy gold anyway. In our generation, they're going to buy Bitcoin. It's only the countries that are going to hold the gold, if you know what I'm saying, rather than but yeah, what do you think about the subject of Bitcoin to gold?
I find it strange, like what we were saying before, why people feel the need to bash Bitcoin while bigging up gold. I could almost understand if they was to bash Ethereum or Cardano or something else, but why they pick gold doesn't make no sense to me. And you mainly find, like with the older generation who may be gold investors who don't really know about Bitcoin, you don't need to bash one to sell the other.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? It seems to be this new generation, but I can't even just blame it on them. To me, it might just be the conspiracy theorist in me, but there's a bigger plan here when they're really trying to get you to stop buying something that has true wealth, to buy something now that has been completely made up. And when you ask most people, what is Bitcoin? No one can answer you. You can't even tell you who made it.
Yeah. And one thing that, as I said, I don't want this to be like a bash on Bitcoin compared to gold, because people would be viewing this from different angles. The good thing about Bitcoin, the reason why people like comparing Bitcoin to gold, first of all, is because Bitcoin was made to be the better version of gold. So where gold was lacking in certain things, like portability is one of the things, Bitcoin is better at portability, because and storage as well. To store Bitcoin is easy. To store gold, we talk about big amounts, it's going to be harder than storing £1 million worth of Bitcoin. Is going to be easier to store than £1 million worth of gold. Yeah. So Bitcoin beats gold on that one, isn't it? But as I said, they were made in the same likeness. You can hear it in a lot of things. Mining. Yeah. You mine gold, you mine Bitcoin. So the person who made it was obviously pro gold in the first place. Yeah. And just trying to make a better gold, if you know what I'm saying. Store of value now, over longer periods of time, Bitcoin is a good store of value, I think. Because the reason why I say it's a good store of value, it's only got short history, but I still think it's a good store of value over long periods of time, but not good store of value for shorter periods of time. If you're going for shorter periods of time for store of value, I say gold beats it, because, and I said I would never do a comparison between these two, but gold beats it because it doesn't jump up too much and it doesn't go down too much. So you're safe, more safer. With Bitcoin, it jumps up a lot, it goes down a lot. And the thing is, if the day comes when Bitcoin levels out more and it hasn't got them massive ups and downs sort of thing, people only mainly attracted to it because of how much money that they can make going 10x and all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's it. That's why I don't really see it as a store of value. I know it's intended as that, but the retail investors that's buying Bitcoin, it's like, I know Roni, he's bought it and he's got this thing about owning 0.1 of a Bitcoin and leaving it for the kids. So he is treating it as a store of value. But most people, they're buying it, hoping it will 10x and then selling it. So no one, they're just treating it as another growth asset like Ethereum or anything else. So, but gold, you will buy that with the intention, oh, I'm keeping this. And if anything, I'm giving it to my kids and they can give it to their kids. I don't think anyone's really doing that with Bitcoin.
Yeah, mainly people, it's a get rich quick scheme. Everyone's greedy, innit? Everyone wants to make that quick money. And see, the thing is, when you see charts like this, this is a little chart that I wrote for myself, and it shows like just from 2019 to now. Is that the right way around? Can you see it the right way around? Obviously, I can't. It's obviously the opposite way around for me. So I'll read it out. In January 2019, Bitcoin was worth 2,800 for one coin.
Okay.
So then January 2020, it made a double. It doubled from 2,800 to 5,430. So it doubled. And then between 2020 to 2014, it made a big jump. It went from 5,430 to 23,560. So it made a big jump. And when people see that, their eyes light up. Anyone would, isn't it? And then everyone's got the hindsight glasses on, thinking, the hindsight glasses.
Yeah.
If only
vision. Yeah.
if only I'd have brought one Bitcoin at 2,800. The truth of it is that you probably wouldn't have bought one Bitcoin for 2,800 because you would have thought that was too expensive. Yeah. If you haven't got a yardstick to look at, you know what I mean? Yeah. 2,800 is too expensive. I've got a brother who's tech. He's into tech and stuff. So I knew he would have known about this a long time ago before any of us would have known of it. And he said, he was looking at it because obviously he knew about Bitcoin and that, and it was £500 a coin when he was looking at it. And know what he said? He goes, I didn't really want to invest £500 because I thought it might be a waste of money. Yeah. So January 2021, from 2020 to 21, it went up to 23 grand. So as at the moment, it's still a good store of value because you're not losing nothing, can it? If you keep it over longer periods of time, it's going up. Yeah. January 2022, it's gone up from 23,000 last year January to 30 grand this year January. Obviously, we just had a little crash at the moment. It's gone down to 26,000, but it's still. That's why I still think Bitcoin is a good asset because of that. Because it's outside of the monetary system, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Because you can transfer the wealth quite easily from one person to another, and it's starting to get a bit of history now. So it's becoming a good store of value. I think it is. It's becoming a good store of value, but it's too volatile. It's too. I think where they try and say they can use it for money in countries and that. I think even if you went down to little Satoshis and you broke it down, it's still too volatile. The jump up from one to another is too much, if you know what I'm saying. If it can change like from 5 grand in one day, even if you broke that down into Satoshis, it's still jumping up too much. Yeah, exactly. It's like going to the shop to go and get Snickers for £1. Yeah. And then tomorrow is £2. £1.50.
Yeah. And then it's crashed to 20 pence.
It's not as extreme as that, but you know what I'm saying, it's still too volatile. And I think for its use case of money, of a good money, it can't be so volatile. And the day that it does go, so now people are saying, like, they're talking about Bitcoin is not money no more, when it was Bitcoin currency, wasn't it? Cryptocurrency. Now it's moved away from that. People saying no, and I say this true with some other things. So it's not like Ethereum's not a currency, it's an asset. Bitcoin is no longer, people are no longer talking about it as a currency or money because its use case for that is not that great. They're calling it property now. If you watch quite a few of these YouTube videos, they're calling it Bitcoin property. Yeah. And the reason why they're saying that is obviously because it goes up in value over longer periods of time. But its use case of money is not great at all. Yeah. For, day-to-day transactions. Going back to the comparison between Bitcoin and gold, they capped it off at 21 million, didn't they? Right, yeah. And that's another USP of gold. That's why these two get compared together. Yeah. They had to make it as a limited supply to compete with gold because gold has got a limited supply. You can only dig out as much as you can from the earth, if you know what I'm saying. So obviously, you've still got the stuff that's been dug out from thousands of years ago, so it's increasing all the time, if you know what I'm saying, because it hasn't really got as much use cases as what silver's got, but you can only get more of it out in a slower pace, if you know what I'm saying. It's quite hard to mine gold. It's not easy to mine gold.
Yeah.
It's not easy to mine Bitcoin either. See the comparisons between the two of them. Even the funny thing about it, even when you see a physical representation of Bitcoin, what does it look like?
It's a gold coin.
It's a gold coin, isn't it?
Mm.
So that's where, and then it becomes into like Robert Kiyosaki would say, a pissing contest.
Yeah.
To see who can piss the furthest. Like, all right, so yeah, like store of value. They say that the argument, one's better than the other. It's limited supply. People say, oh well, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, but you can still get more gold out of the earth. I've even heard people say, oh yeah, that basically they're going to try and get gold from some meteorites. You heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
And if they do get more gold from these meteorites, it's going to crash the gold market.
Yeah.
That gold's going to be more expensive than gold on earth, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a joke.
So you hear some crazy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all this comparison between the two, I think is not that. Because people say, oh yeah, so the main one is, does it generate wealth? Is it a growth asset? Does it 10x? But the two things are different. When people learn that these two things are similar, but they got their different strengths, if you know what I'm saying, then they'd be more educated, I reckon.
Yeah.
But I'll even watch this other thing with Michael Saylor. This is how people get blinded by things. Michael Saylor, he's pure Bitcoin. You heard of him?
Yeah.
Michael Saylor. There's loads of videos out of him. He's a very intelligent guy. He knows what he's talking about. MicroStrategy, he owns that company, etc. He knows what he's talking about to a certain extent. But he's so blinded by Bitcoin that he says every other coin is a shit coin. And well, they're not really coins, they're assets. So he'll say Ethereum is shit. But he's not even recognizing its uses of the smart contracts, of what the different businesses, the use cases that you can build on that platform, if you know what I'm saying. He's just out and out saying, it's all about Bitcoin, that's a shit coin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this how people are, they're just blinded. As I said, when people learn that, as I said, going back to the dustpan and brush theory, when people know that there's a place for everything, if you know what I'm saying, for most of some things will burn away, it will come out for a little bit, they realize that it's not really of any value, of any use in it, and it goes out of fashion and disappears. But some things are of value, and they've got uses, and they'll be around forever, basically. I can't see the dust, I would like to bring this one up, I can't see the dustpan and brush going away in our generation.
No, it's got its place.
That's it, just like candles.
Yeah, exactly. With the dustpan and brush, it don't matter what fancy cordless Hoover you got, there's always room for a dustpan and brush.
That's it. And yeah, if you've got no electricity, you wish you still had that dustpan and brush, isn't it?
Exactly.
So this is the thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say really for this one. There is another book that I'm reading at the moment, but this guy, he's very intelligent. His name's James Rickards, James Rickards, and he who did he work for? He worked for the government, basically US government. So he's like well in there with, he knows a lot of inside information in that, and he's made another book called Currency Wars. So that's another book that I want to buy, and I've watched a few videos about currency wars and that and what they was doing at the time. But he's very intelligent. But I've got this one. This is called The New Case for Gold. The New Case for Gold by James Rickards. So that's quite good, but this is a bit more, I think, in-depth monetary system type of stuff. This one is probably best for general knowledge, I reckon.
Okay.
If you wanted to read anyone. And the one I always recommend is that The Richest Man in Babylon. That's probably
some good reads. You recommend those books,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So if you want to put a little link up of them at some point in the video, that'd be good.
Definitely. I'll put a link down into Amazon for them. Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, well, thanks for your time again, Darren. It's always interesting hearing your point of view on gold. I don't feel it's something that's spoken often enough. I feel everyone's just been driven down this crypto avenue. And like you said, there's nothing wrong with it and everything's got this their place and their space. But I feel everyone needs to know what the other options are out there.
And so, to like, do you know, like people say you should have a balanced diet, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should also have a balanced like financial diet as well.
Well, very true.
Rather than just like gorging on one thing. Bitcoin. Yeah. I mean, not having no vegetables in your diet or fruit or whatever. You've got to have it balanced. That's why, like, fiat currency, just finished on this one, fiat currency gets bashed a lot, but we still need it.
Still need it.
It's got its place.
Yeah.
Even though it's been fake now, they've obviously turned fiat currency, real money into fiat currency.
Yeah.
It's still got its place because, as I said before, currency is good for the current times.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fiat currency, that is.
And that's what's current right now. Do you know what I mean? That's what you need. So yeah, can't knock it. Everything's got its place.
Exactly, that's it.